Hi guys, I'm Zara.
And I'm Fatima, and welcome to the second episode of our podcast series.
Yeah, and
I'm as, I think, shocked as you are that we're actually doing this.
yeah, I think it's interesting. Also, it's about rain, and I am crazy about rain. For anyone who's listening to this and who knows me, I'll paint the picture. Actually, you should paint the picture
Okay, fine.
from the view that you see.
Right. So, just for context, we're like on the 12th floor of Zara's building, and the view outside is really dull, dark, big gray clouds. Okay, and in the distance, you can see that it's already started raining in some parts of the city. Okay, and hopefully it'll start raining where we are too. And there's a lot of wind. You can see the wind like sweeping up the dust from the earth. And the best part is the smell, and I don't think you can ever describe exactly how Karachi Rain smells like, but there's nothing else like it.
No, and again, like if anyone knows me, they know I'm mad about rain, right? Like if it starts raining, and even if it's dull or dark or still or whatever it is, I will jump out of my bed and want to go out and just like feel the rain. And like more specifically, I'm into thunderstorms, and I can speak for I can make this whole podcast about thunderstorms. Okay, so and it doesn't rain a lot in Karachi. And
It's so rare. It's rare.
very rare, but it rains a lot in Malaysia where I was for university.
You still are.
But it's like online now, so I just miss this view. I remember waking up and like not wanting to go to classes like ever because it's so hot normally.
Yeah.
And the days that I know it's dark outside, I'm like, shit, I have to get up, I have to go out, I have to go get something, I have to do something, and I find excuses to go out, and I don't like going out.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa.
I think it's really interesting because whenever it's raining, the automatic response is I want to go outside and I just want to be there. Right?
I thought the automatic response to rain is it's depressing. I want to cuddle up in bed and watch a movie.
No, but that's the thing. So in London, that is my response.
Yeah.
Because it's cold, it's dull, it's dark, the days are really short, and it just the rain there it just hurts. Okay, that's just what it is. Okay, like you have to go to the bus, you have to go to the underground station, you have to walk to university. It's cold and it's just horrible. Okay, and it's not even like the nice kind of rain. It's like really slow, continuous drizzle, which is irritating.
Okay, that's just depressing.
It is so depressing. But Karachi rain is so different because it's really hot here all the time. So when it does rain, it's like, oh my god, it's like a blessing.
I'm like seriously distracted by the view right now. It's like I'm like looking around for like, is it raining yet? Is it raining yet? Is it raining yet? Like,
but it's a really, I think it's a really good backdrop for the kind of headspace both of us are in right now. Okay, like because like I was telling you, like yesterday, I was talking to a few people, and one of them said that they spent so many hours writing a caption or something, and I was like, how do you have so much time? Like they're the kind of people who are always just doing something or the other, like never sitting still. And when I said this, I'm like, don't you ever just be like, just sit and think? And they're like, no, that's just weird. Who does that?
I think there's a lot of misconceptions about like just being and like productivity and value and worth, right? Like for some people it's like if they're not doing something, they're failures, like it's as extreme as that. It's not like, oh, I can take a break, it's like I have to do something.
Going to jump in with my capitalist analysis of this. Okay, and this is actually the capitalist system, because if you're not productive, you don't have value. If you're not making or doing something, if you're not earning money, if you're not doing something with your time, you're just a failure. You're not gaining anything, which is so horrible if you think about it, because when do you have time just for your own self?
I think as a culture also we've been conditioned to believe that if we don't do something, like like for example my brother, right, he's 16, 17, he's starting his own business, he's giving all these classes. Everybody in my house earns money, right? Except for me. And then like they come to me and they're like, buddy, Zara, what are you doing with your life? And I'm like, I'm existing and I'm living every day as I want to.
But you know what? There's a difference. If you there are things you do for productivity and you do because you want to do them, and then there's something as running away from that mindfulness and that thing.
I think the idea of being still makes you want to think about feelings, right?
Yeah.
Like the reason why rain would be depressing indoors is because you have nothing to do but to be in your feeling.
Exactly.
And we don't like being in our uncomfortable feeling, as our last podcast was all about.
Yeah.
Right? So it's also like, it's like you run away from something, but you're literally just running away from your state of calmness.
So I was
Because that resistance is very important.
Yeah.
Right?
So I was at my nanny's yesterday and I was talking to my mamu, and he said this. We were talking about the whole productivity thing and how companies and how people themselves, are just really in a state of fix because they're like, okay, what do we do? And then I was talking to him and we got to this point where I said the state of mind I'm in is mindful stillness. So silence doesn't bother me, being still doesn't bother me, because I know there's movement and function all around me and within me as is. It's just a more steady, a more mindful thought process behind all that I'm doing and all that I'm thinking. So even if it's just that I woke up at like 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning and I'm just in bed, right? I don't have my phone, I'm not doing anything, but I know there's an internal process inside me that's thinking, okay, what are the conscious decisions I will make today and the things I want to do today and what I want out of my day. It's a very conscious process that goes on there.
It goes with the idea of spaciousness, okay?
Yeah.
So spaciousness is basically having a distance between you and your thoughts, right? And having that distance, or you and your thoughts and feelings, let's say, right? And it's a state of mindfulness that allows you to be in that moment, but not be consumed by the moment. So it's like saying you are not your thoughts, just an observer of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it gives you that conscious control, but also the freedom to do anything.
It's a really good practice on objectivity, I think. So
How so?
See, because if you are totally in that space, and I'm not saying that in that space as in you're feeling your feelings, that's different. I'm saying in that space where your actions and your thoughts are totally driven by the impulses and emotions you feel. So if I wake up today, right, like I said, I woke up at 9 or 10 or whatever, and if I'm feeling upset or sad, then letting the rest of my day be colored by that emotion, right, is not healthy and is not an objective take on it.
Yeah.
But if I'm in bed and I know that today or this day I'm not feeling super great, but I can give that distance between my actions and my state of mind and the current thing I'm feeling. They're all separate things.
Yeah.
And then I can decide which one I want to go on with and which one I want to deal with.
Yeah.
So it doesn't all overlap. It's just less impulse driven and it makes it better.
I think it goes with the idea of saying that it's similar. It's like I feel sad versus I am sad.
Yeah.
Right? So I can act from a position of feeling sad, and that feeling isn't constant. No feeling is constant, it comes and goes. But if you label yourself with that feeling of sad and say I am sad, and even if that momentary happiness comes, you are still in your entire bubble of sadness, right? And you won't do anything other than trying to dwell in that sadness because you've labeled yourself as that.
Which is again really interesting because it goes again with what we talked about, acceptance, right?
Yeah.
So you've accepted that you're sad, but you continue to continuously exist in the space of being sad, which means you're not accepting anything else that comes your way in the day.
Yeah.
So be it happiness or excitement or whatever, you're just completely shut off to it.
Yeah, I think it takes time to understand, realize, and allowing all of that, because it's very tough actually. It's very tough to be like, get up and, for example, if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, right, and I'm like upset, I'm like, why is the tea not here? Why is this not done? And everything comes gushing, right? And then there's that moment of creating that spaciousness and being like, okay, I'm going to take a very deep breath. I know I feel angry and frustrated and sad, but what can I do about it? And what do I want to do about it? Because it's not necessary that I do what I want.
Yeah.
And that's very important.
It is because, so I think what most people do or don't do is that whenever you tell them that acha, like, you feel this way, what do you want to do about it, they get irritated, they get angry.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to understand, as people, you either want to dwell in that emotion or you want to then get out of it.
It's again the same thing.
But it takes time for both.
It's the same thing as saying like the productivity thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like I am doing this, what more can I do about it? I have to fix this. I have to do this. I have to do this. It's never like I can be in this moment and be sad and complain about it, and that's it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can complain about it. You can be upset by it. You can be sad about it. But so long as it doesn't consume you for the entirety of, let's just say, your day or even that moment.
I feel like there's some days that it will consume you, and
Of
that's
course.
also fine.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
but it's like, okay, it's like you said last time, like how much time would it take, right? Like if it's asking for you to take, let's say, 20 minutes of your day or 20 hours, just let it be for those 20 hours.
Yeah.
Right, and then the minute you feel, okay, fine, I have let go of all of this and it's okay, and now I'm ready to do something about it, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Right, but till then, if you want to not talk to people, it's also fine.
You shouldn't do anything that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
But
that's what acceptance is.
Exactly. But see,
It's
the
a
whole
complete
thing with
acceptance.
that is, again, people fight against it. So
Yeah.
if you're sad and
Yeah.
upset, right?
Yeah.
The whole part of it comes down to, okay, I'm angry, but I shouldn't be feeling angry, and now you telling me that what is next on my
Yeah.
process of not being angry.
Okay, I relate to this.
It gets irritating, right? And I think it's irritating for both the person who is angry and the person who's also dealing with the person who is angry.
Okay, the reason I relate with this a lot is because, let's say, anger is like one of the feelings I hate the most.
Yeah.
Right? If I get angry, I'm angry about the fact that I'm angry.
Yeah.
And it consumes me to the extent where I'm getting so irritated. So now if I go to someone, like, first of all, I won't go to like 90% of the people because they won't understand that my angriness is making me angry.
Yeah.
Like, they'll just be like, what is wrong with you? You know, and I don't like being moody. I don't like being all of those things. So, like, you know, I'll just get frustrated and then I like bubble up and then it'll bubble up more instead of just being like, okay, fine, I'm angry. I can own up to my angry and be like, okay, I am angry, I am feeling this way, and it's okay for this moment. But I won't be like, okay, now I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to fight it, I'm going to, like...
But that's the thing, right? But I think when most people are in that state of feeling anger or even like sadness or whatever,
Yeah.
they always try to fight it. They're like, yes,
Yeah.
I am, but like, okay, they're always this bubbling frustration
Yeah.
because they never allow themselves to just say, okay, I am. Or if you're talking to someone saying, I am sad, I don't want to talk right now, or I am sad, but let's talk about something different.
Yeah.
Or then I am sad and I just want you to hear me out.
Yeah.
You know? But people don't do that because I think individuals, as individuals, we don't allow ourselves to really get into or give ourselves validation or acceptance of what we're feeling. We always want to go from bad state of mind to good state of mind. And it's also like the thing you sent me today,
Yeah.
which was about how always seeking a positive
Allan bhai.
always seeking a positive experience is a negative experience.
Yeah, because you validate your negative or the lack of what you have, right? So if I'm like feeling sad and I want to be happy, I'm validating the sadness instead of focusing
Yeah.
on the happy.
Why don't you read what you sent me? I think that's...
It's long. Okay. Wanting a positive experience is a negative experience. Accepting a negative experience is a positive experience. It's what the philosopher Alan Watts used to refer to as the backward law. The idea that the more you pursue feeling better all the time, the less satisfied you become, as pursuing something only reinforces the fact that you lack it in the first place. So the more you desperately want to be rich, the more poor and unworthy you'll feel regardless of how much you make, because you're actually validating that poorness.
Yeah.
So that goes with literally everything, right? So the more you desperately want to be happy and loved, the lonelier and more afraid you'll become, regardless of who surrounds you. The more you want to be spiritually enlightened, the more self-centered and shallow you become in trying to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And if you just accept that, okay, I am not necessarily at the place I want to be, but it's alright, I will eventually get there.
Yeah.
Right? It becomes so much more easier on your own person.
Yeah.
Right? You're not...
It's raining, sorry.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's like wet. Yeah, anyways. Yeah. It's, you know, it's very interesting. This is how my journey to psychology actually started, right? It started with this whole concept of subconscious mind, right? And this I am phrase is very like influential and important in that, because I would give a little bit of technical knowledge about this, because the subconscious brain is like this is this like magnet, right? And it can't decipher between a lot of things. So whatever you say, it takes it as face value. It can't take sarcasm. It can't take all those subtle hints about things. So if I say, oh, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so ugly, it will take it at face value, and it will take your feelings at face value. So if I say some sentence like, I don't want to be sad, it doesn't recognize the word don't. It will recognize I want to be sad and accept that.
Ooh.
It is so interesting. And then it goes with paradigms, right? So paradigm is one set of beliefs that gets reinforced over and over and over, and it's made from your childhood, right? So let's say someone in my childhood reinforced one value of, let's say, like for example with me, you have to be thin, you know, or you have to do well, you have to get an A star. Perfectionism, right? And that could be in a very negative regard also, right? It was a very negative regard, and most of our paradigms get fixed on those things. So if I want to like retrain that, I have to come from that place of really being, I am worthy of love, I am doing well, I am capable, right? Instead of reinforcing I don't want to be sad or I don't want to fail, I have to say I will pass.
You know, that's really interesting, because you know how they say jo aap sochoge wahi hoga?
Yeah.
Right? It's like you have to create your own reality, because exactly what you think is exactly what will happen.
So creating that reality, or law of attraction and all of those things, work from this subconscious root of saying what you say and believing what you say, right? So like one of the things that I did in my journey to begin with all of this, like I was in a really dark place, right?
Yeah.
And when I was 16, I was like, I don't like life. What am I doing? And then the first thing I did was I got up and I was like, okay, what do I want to correct? I made a list of things that I didn't like. And I was like, okay, instead of reinforcing that list, I will reinforce what I like. And I'll reinforce what I want to become, right? So instead of saying I don't want to be rich, or like what this backward thinking of Allan is, right? Instead of reinforcing those things, I reinforce the good. Yeah. I want to be able to do all these things. Instead of saying I want to, I said I am doing all of those things.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so all these things are well and good, right? And they happen because you could self-realize and kind of materialize all the things that you wanted to be, and also all the things you had become and already had. But a lot of this also stems from your family, your environment, all of that, right? So how does a person, or how did you essentially deal with the family aspect of all of this? Because when you start to change, your family also notices, and there's always some level of resistance, some level of criticism that comes along with it.
The biggest answer to that is forgiveness, okay? And forgiveness only comes after acceptance. So let's say in my journey, I started with this I am thing, right? Let's say I am happy, I am good, I am worthy, I am capable, all of these things. And the first few times I said it, it was just like, am I mocking myself? Because I didn't feel any of these things. I felt the complete opposite. So when I looked in my eyes in the mirror and said all these things, it's like someone slapping me and being like, you bitch, you're not capable. So like my initial thought was a very negative thought after I said something very positive. It was really hard to actually do all of these things.
Yeah.
After a while, what happens, because your subconscious is hearing this and you're repeating it so many times, it starts believing it. And that's where the magic starts happening. And then it's like, holy crap, why did I wake up happy today? And it's weird because it's like, it's so new. You know, today I wake up and it's very normal for me to feel good. But
you at 16 did not have that.
No. Yeah. It was just like, holy crap, what just happened?
So you're saying that...
Answering your question.
Yeah, with your family.
Yeah. So what happened was that when I started doing all of these things, I created a very big distance from everyone else. Because I had to work for myself. Like I generally, at 16, I didn't speak at all. I didn't speak to my friends. I didn't speak at home. And you shouldn't really do that. And I did it in a very extreme way. And I started questioning a lot of things.
But you really shouldn't say you shouldn't have done that either. Because it was exactly what was required of you at that time.
Exactly. And I accept those things. But if I were to advise someone to do that, I would say, hello, please like take a guided help.
Branch out more.
Because I wish that I could have spoken about this to, let's say, my cousins or someone. But I also don't like asking help. So at 16...
You still don't.
At 16, though, it was just never going to happen, right?
Sahi baat hai.
And that's fine. But anyways, like with the family thing, what I did was I made that chart of, if I am this way, I've learned it from somewhere. Who did I learn it from? Like, let's say if I get angry, like drastically about some very small thing, I know I get it from my mom.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't like asking for help, I know I get it from my dad. Right? So I work backwards, and in that process I realized they're a certain way because they've been taught that. Right? And just having that acceptance gave me a lot of patience to deal with my mom getting extremely angry. So I had a lot of self-control and being like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to just be a little more patient and deal with some sort of bullshit, because I know 10 days later she'll be like, oh, Zara didn't react to my anger today. It's not working.
I think a lot of it comes from the fact that you understand that it's generational trauma and generational conditioning that does this. And once, I think it's always difficult when you're the first person to realize it.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you want to be the catalyst of change in that manner, it always has this unsteady effect.
But it was surprising to me, because the minute I changed over time, let's say within 2 or 3 months, I noticed a very big difference in my family. And let's say if I started working out, it's as a positive thing, right? I wanted my mom to do things that she liked. Because, I was like, okay, mama, you have to work out. You have to do something for you today.
It's like the thing we talked about last time is that when you have gratitude for self, you have more gratitude for others.
Yeah.
So when you have more love and more happiness and patience with your own self, you have more to give to others as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think your family's reaction is also based on how you were.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not all... I think what we do is we paint everyone who we don't really agree with as really horrible.
I stopped blaming. That's
exactly.
what I did.
We paint them in a really bad light, but it's not always like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, when your behavior, your perception changes, they will all... I'm not saying they'll be 100%, exactly how you want them, but there will be some progress. There will be.
Yeah. What about you?
What about me?
In your changes,
yeah,
did you ever have that? Because mine was very drastic.
Mm-hmm.
I went from not talking at all with my parents or anyone in that matter to being very comfortable with them.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It was very drastic.
I'd say I think my whole process was from around the ages of 14 till good till 18, 19, 18. You know, that 6 years of a lot of intense changes and growth and all of that. And I think it would also take the same pattern because I also don't like asking for help. I don't really... I'm not a big fan of it.
Way more similar than we think.
Yeah. But it has gotten better. I think also because my mom is a lot more self-aware in that manner.
Yeah.
So a lot of the frustrations would arise with my dad and even my mom for not understanding.
Yeah.
But again, it's about... You understand that it's not that they don't want to, it's just that there's certain limitations to every person.
Yeah.
Right? But I think it's the same thing where I think by the time I was in Lyceum, when I was around 16 to 18, it was a lot of it was about really reinforcing my own beliefs that I know it doesn't matter if someone else approves of it or not. I know what is right. I know what I'm doing, and that's essentially all that matters. And it's not easy. It's actually, like you said, it's really difficult because you have no external checker for the things you're doing and the things you're thinking. It's just totally it's just an internal process.
I think to sum up the podcast, right, I would just say that it's about reinforcing beliefs and using the phrase I am in a way, and being very conscious of your thoughts.
You really have to take in the fact that what you're thinking, what you're doing, and really be aware of the impact it has on you.
I like to add, I started at 16, but even today I have to consciously correct myself.
Always.
It's a constant process.
You can't ever stop. It's just that now, because
it's easier.
You've done all that really painful work, right? It's like what we talked about. We went through that really upheaval kind of cycle, which was this really weird high.
Yeah.
And then now it's just gradual every single day kind of thing, because now it's so normalized that you don't really feel like it's much.
Yeah. It's easier to accept. It's easier to do all the hard work because... You know that there's something out of it, and that's exciting more than the process.
Yeah. But again, you have to catch yourself slipping, when you do.
Like let's say today, right? Today I woke up and I was like, ugh, I don't want to do anything. What is this? And then I was questioning all of that, and I was like, no, I want to do it, but my body also needs rest. What can I do about it? And we ended up doing the podcast at home, right? So again, to sum it all up, let's just say today's giveaway is using the phrase I am.
Yeah.
And saying 5 good things.
Mindfully. Be aware when you're saying and what you're saying.
Let's say if a negative thought comes in, right? Oh my God, I'm so angry. Let's correct that. I'm feeling angry today.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that moment, just if you see it, you fight it back. in that moment. And you don't have to be like, ugh, you can just say it in your head.
There needs to be no negative reaction from you.
Yeah.
Essentially
No,
that.
I mean,
There
is resistance.
No, if you're angry, you're angry. You don't have to punish yourself for feeling angry, right?
Yeah.
So, mindful stillness.
Yeah.
And more using of the word I am in a positive manner.
In a very, very positive manner.
And being
just
aware.
Just basically seeing your thoughts float by and just hearing them.
Yeah.
For what they are.
Yeah. And also being aware of all the negative things you think and say about yourself.
And just being aware of it. And then maybe possibly correcting them. Yeah.
So I think that's it for today.
Bye.